Right, we'll sap on to. Righto, we'll go back to the water one. I don't know. Okay, water service delivery plan adoption was a hell of a lot of work done on this for a long time. I'm very happy with it. Everyone, maybe you should be.
I'll move that.
You have to second it. Sam moved. Yeah.
Sam, can you just wait this time?
Councillor Peters.
Yeah. Mark seconds. Any discussion, any debate?
I mean, I haven't got my debate, I can't find it, but can I speak to it just look, this is an incredible piece of work. It's massive. Now, and when you go into the actual plan itself, I think it's 500 pages or something. We're in debate,
Yeah.
we're in debate. There were no questions.
No.
And I can weave one into my debate. I mean, obviously, this is a massive undertaking for our council, and I can only imagine what it's cost us. And also, I believe we're going to need to submit the services plan every 5 years as well. That'll be another. But I think this is a huge piece of work. The detail that we have over our assets and the way we deliver water in our infrastructure is absolutely incredible. We've got all the information that the government needs, I believe, for them to allow us to adopt this plan and the way we deliver our water, local water done well. So I'm hoping that, I'm assuming that the government has to agree to this with us, and then so that's the questions through my debate, and I'm pretty sure I'm right there. Look, I'm not going to labour this because I know we've used a lot of time up already this morning, but I do want to just to say and reiterate how impressed I am with this report and this whole plan. So thank you for it. Must have been a huge amount of work to get this together. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, the effort that's gone is outstanding. Yanni then. Yanni?
Thank you. I too just wanted to quickly acknowledge the huge amount of work that the council staff and the organisation have done. Here's a really good example of governments creating inefficient, more bureaucratic layers of local democracy that mean that we end up spending a whole bunch of money, doing a whole bunch of work, taking away from actually doing things that make a difference in communities just to satisfy the political whim of central government. So hopefully if there's a move to slash red tape, this can be held up. The whole water reforms can be held up as an example of what not to do. So I just wanted to acknowledge the huge amount of work that our staff have done. You know, our city, on top of the earthquake, we've had extraordinary challenges around our infrastructure. And so the more central government can do to support us, not hinder us, the better. And I continue to look forward to the day that central government announce the exemption process to remove chlorine out of our water. The sooner they do that, the better, the more we can focus on repairing the pipes rather than having to put in a whole bunch of new equipment. So, but thanks to staff for the work that they've done. Yeah, I do commend them and just acknowledge the huge impact that this has had over nearly 5 years on our organisation with shifting goalposts every step of the way. Thank you to staff for the work they've done.
Yep, thank you, mate. That's very good point. Sarah, please.
Again, thanks so much to staff who have put in an enormous amount of work over what's relatively a short period of time on this one. And I'm torn a little bit. So the reality is the reason that councils across the country have to do their water service delivery plans is because councils across the country, Christchurch City included, have for years not done the work that we are supposed to have done on our water networks. And so we have an enormous backlog. Do I like the way the government have gone about doing this? Not particularly. But the reality is this will start holding us to account more to our residents for improving the water infrastructure in our city and making sure that we are, you know, renewing our pipes, that we're fixing what we should be, and that we're providing a really good service to our communities to deliver safe drinking water and improving that over time. Thanks.
Sam?
Yeah, I think this is a very significant day for Christchurch in terms of demonstrating what we said we would do when, you know, this process kicked off in terms of the Three Waters tried to be taken off councils. And this demonstrates what we knew all along, which is councils know how to run their water infrastructure, and that having some guardrails in place, actually for something like Christchurch is helpful but not required, but for the smaller councils across the country is really useful. So I think this is fantastic in terms of us validating what we have all been saying for so long, which is we know how to manage our water. I agree with, I think, Ziani in the previous thing about, or then might have been this one around chlorine and getting that removed out of the water. But fundamentally, this just demonstrates that councils know how to do it. We should never lose sight of the synergy we have most of the time between our water department and our transport or our other functions within council that can deliver stuff in an efficient way. So, you know, I think if you look at what we spend in Three Waters every year, we'll continue to do that. The trick has always been deliverability, and that will not go away as a country unless we get on top of some of the regulation that sits around it. But this just validates what we've said all along, which is Christchurch knows how to manage its water. Christchurch has a good network that we continue to invest in, and we should be really proud of that.
Thank you, yeah, like everyone else, thank you so much to the staff. It's an excellent bit of work. It is an example, and it would be good if ratepayers kind of looked at it, and when the government sits there and talks about red tape and councils and red tape, you know, this is a really good example of more red tape. The one thing that really does kind of get to me is those smaller councils that are really needing the support, which this is meant to be doing, have really well been kind of ignored. And they've concentrated on the bigger councils, and we were ahead of the game anyway, and they changed standards, and to change the standard you suddenly have to catch up. Didn't affect the fact that no one has ever got ill from our water. They just changed the standards, not forgetting that it started at Havelock North, who then got a handout of $50 million. No one went to prison for the 5 people that died, or the insufficient work that was done there leading up to the disaster that started all of this. But I have to say to our staff, thank you. We are in a better place as a city. That can only be a good thing. I don't agree the way that the government, or central government, sorry, it's a whole lot of them, have done this. And I'm sure the smaller councils will be hoping that it's more focused on them for financial support, because you cannot keep borrowing money when you don't have money. So thank you.
Aaron.
Yeah, I'll just touch on a couple of bits that haven't been touched on. A number of people complained about this and this having to do this in this process and that, but the alternative was handing over the keys to all our pump stations to go to the Three Waters model. So I think the people of Christchurch will appreciate this one a lot more, keeping it local. And I'll reiterate Tim's point that no one had ever got sick from our reticulated water supply. So the chlorine, which when I was at the DHB and we had the briefing from the person brought in from Australia, not from New Zealand, to run our water system, and she said you will never get chlorine out of the water, because we believe that chlorine is the safest way to deliver water. And even though our medical officer of health said no one had ever got sick from our water, we still had to solve a problem that didn't exist. And that costs billions of dollars sometimes, and that's the road we've gone down. So there's aspects of it I disagree with, but I'm glad it's staying within the city's agreement. So
And I'll have the last bit. Okay, I'd just like to thank Gavin and Mitch and the whole Three Waters team, because it's a lot of sleepless nights and stuff, and getting this stuff across the line, especially when you get hit from government with something from the left, something from the right, well, not left, but out of left field or whatever. And the amount, geez, I'm good. The amount of work that has gone on is phenomenal, and I'm totally convinced that our Three Waters team is in very good shape. You know, everything we've got, from the deepening the wells to the blue non-return valves on top, the tanks, the pump stations, everything. We do have a few leaks floating around with pipes get older, and we've got to continue to do them. So looking forward to working with them and getting this into the government. So it's going to be good all round. So thank you very much. So with that, I will put this, because we've got to move and seat now. I'll put this. All those in favour?
Aye.
Thank you guys. Carried.
Thank you very much.